Alright, we're back, of course, talking some FF7. We're talking some Rebirth, of course, and we're talking the PC release of the game coming out January 23rd, of course. We got the specs yesterday. Now, I'm not the guy just here to talk to you about fucking PC specs for games or whatever. Like, I don't know shit about shit. I am through and through a console gamer and probably always will be. I mean, I can look at the settings shit they put out, right, for the minimum, recommended, ultra, and I know a lot of the terms, some of the terms maybe. I know the basics of how a fucking computer works, but in terms of, like, gaming shit, zero idea. So anyways, they dropped a tweet yesterday which says, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth for PC features 3 default graphics presets and the ability to customize settings. These presets have been optimized to allow you to experience the game in the best quality possible depending on your setup. So we can get a closer look here at the presets. Again, I'm not going to sit here and talk about this shit because what the hell do I even know? But you can pause it to kind of compare it with your setup, I suppose. There's actually a question I'm going to pass off to you guys that game exclusively on PC, though, because, I don't know anything. Like, how demanding is Remake Integrate on PC? Like, do you need, like, a decent kind of setup to be able to play it on, even, like, the low settings? And, like, how badass of a PC do you need to be able to play it on, like, the ultra settings? I guess also because we have the presets for Rebirth, like, on the ultra settings. Like, how expensive of a PC is that to be able to play that show on, like, all ultra or whatever? I mean, I completely understand the benefits of gaming on PC, but I think it's just, for me, it's just like, it's got a PS5 right here. Just buy the disc or buy it digitally, I'm just playing the shit. I don't got to worry about if my setup's good enough or whatever, or tweaking these settings and whatever. I can turn my fucking brain off and just play the game. That's what I enjoy. That's really kind of it in terms of, like, new information other than us just, like, actually sitting there reading the whole chart, right, for all the different settings, which would be boring. That's kind of it. But I did want to cover some other stuff for the video, because I see people asking about Steam Deck, and I don't remember if we covered this or talked about this or whatever, but they did discuss Steam Deck last month, I guess, around the time that they announced the PC version of the game. Which actually really quickly pulled up this article. They actually put out the specs last month when this article came out that we're going to look at. Like, I don't know why the specs are just not making the rounds. Maybe because they just tweeted it out yesterday, but it's been out there for a while, apparently. Anyways, within the article it says, will the game be Steam Deck verified? The team is working hard to optimize the game for Steam Deck. We'll have more information about official Steam Deck verification in the future, so keep an eye on our social media accounts for confirmation. So for those wondering or asking if it's coming to Steam Deck, it will happen eventually. It's just a matter of when. And I mean, the article, again, is like a month old, roughly, and we've had nothing yet. I don't know if we're going to have anything prior to the release of the game on, Epic and Steam or whatever, but eventually it's going to be on Steam Deck if that's how you prefer to play it. So we haven't really talked about pre-order bonuses and things like that, which we normally do talk about on the channel. I mean, we covered it for the PS5 release of Rebirth, of course, but we haven't talked about it for the PC release. There's a bit of a difference now from pre-ordering the game for PC versus back when you could get it for PS5, because there was different pre-order bonuses if you're buying the game physically or digitally. If you bought it physically, you got the Midgar Bengal Mark II. If you bought it digitally, you got the Moogle Trio Summon. Now for the PC version, you get both of those if you pre-order it, but also you get a bonus item that I don't know that you can get anymore. And that is the Shinra Bengal Mark II, which you had to donate $5 to, like, Extra Life, which is a charity, to actually get this accessory, which I did do. I don't know that I ever redeemed it, though, because I think they sent you an email eventually with a code, and you had to, like, go on Square Enix's, like, website, like SquareEnixGames.com or something, and, like, redeem it through your Square Enix account or something. It's a little bit convoluted. There may have been a way to do it on your PS5, but I'm pretty sure that's what the email told me to do. I don't think I ever did it, and I can't speak to whether or not these, accessories are good or whether or not the Moogle Trio Summon's good. I imagine they're, like, okay for the beginning of the game, but they obviously will not be good later on. There are nice bonuses to have just from buying the game ahead of time, which I think most people are going to do, especially because there's a sale right now where you can get the game for significantly cheaper, like 30% off, right, up until release day, January 23rd. So, like, if you're going to buy it, you might as well buy it when it's cheaper. Usually also do videos where I talk about, which edition should you buy type of shit. There's not a whole lot to break down from that because there's only Rebirth, Rebirth Digital Deluxe, the Twin Pack, which comes with Remake Integrate, and then the Digital Deluxe version of the Twin Pack, right? It's all kind of situational, as in, like, are you hopping into FF7 for the first time with Rebirth, right? Have you not even played Remake Integrate? If that's the case, you could probably go for the Twin Pack, right? If you're just interested in Rebirth, you don't even give a shit about Remake, you can obviously just buy that. And then I'm also somebody that doesn't necessarily always recommend the Digital Deluxe edition of these games. Part of that comes down to, for one, like, you get, like, a digital art book and a digital mini soundtrack, but those things are going to be available online. Plus, like, the Rebirth soundtrack will eventually be on Spotify, which, Spotify's technically free. So you don't necessarily have to have that in the digital art book. You can just find online and just download the damn pictures if you want them. So that's, like, part of your value there going out the window. Like, if you bought the game Deluxe physically, and you got, like, a physical art book and a physical soundtrack, that's an actual collector's item that you could, like, display and have, right? Like, that's a different scenario. So the physical Deluxe edition came with a steelbook, which is actually, like, a pretty damn cool item that you're missing out on by buying the digital Deluxe edition, right? There's, of course, some in-game bonus items if you get the Deluxe edition, which is the Magic Pot Summon, the Reclaim It Choker, and the Orchid Bracelet, which is a summon, an accessory, and an armor, respectively. Looking into each item, they're not that bad, honestly. Like, I didn't buy the Deluxe Edition this time around, so I never looked into what each item does. But, like, according to, like, GameFAQs post, like, somebody mentioned that, like, the Magic Pot summon, for example, like, heals everybody when it goes away, revives dead characters, and, like, you know, constantly puts buffs on the party, like haste and stuff like that, which is pretty fucking good, to be honest. Like, most of the time, you're just using summons for damage outside of, like, Phoenix, who has some actual utility with, like, reviving people and stuff like that. So, it's kind of nice to have another summon that does have utility. Maybe the Moogle Trio does as well. I don't know. Honestly, I never even fucking used them. Never even looked at their abilities. Have zero idea. But, like, having another summon that has utility is, I think, pretty damn important. Especially one that can revive people. The Orchid Bracelet is kind of basic, but I assume the stats are pretty decent for early game. But it does have 3 materia slots, 2 that are connected, which is very important, of course, for your blue materia, like Magnify and Elemental. The Reclaimant Choker is kind of interesting because it restores 10% of your own HP whenever you defeat an enemy. So the Reclaimant Choker is actually not a bad accessory, especially for early game when there's not a lot of options for accessories anyways. And getting back, 10% of your HP is not bad for just beating on trash mobs and stuff in like the open world or whatever. And this actually could be kind of a useful accessory for like a hard mode playthrough up to a certain point. If you're like really trying to do the hard fights, you wouldn't be using this, obviously. But like through like a hard mode story playthrough, you're obviously going to be fighting random enemies at times, and this is a way to get back some HP without having to use MP, which is obviously very limited when it comes to hard mode. I will say, if we're talking, hard mode specifically, you do have like the prayer material, which is kind of like the go-to. You could do chakra as well if you just want like self-healing for a certain character. But still, it's not a bad option until you get like, Genji gloves and expeditionary medals and things like that are more relevant to a hard mode playthrough. I actually wouldn't fault somebody if they wanted to buy the Deluxe Edition for Rebirth for PC just because of those bonus items there. Like, I wouldn't blame you. They're not bad. If I had to throw a recommendation out there, though, I wouldn't buy the digital Deluxe Edition Twin Pack because you're getting Deluxe Edition for Rebirth, but you're not really getting anything bonus for Integrate because all the, PS4, PS5 extra shit is free. That already just comes with Integrate, right? Like on PS5, you can just download all that shit for free. I think on PS4 now, too, all like the Butterfinger additional items are just free to download. And I looking on Steam, I don't see anything bonus for Integrate. It's just mentioning all the Rebirth stuff. But the thing is, the Twin Pack and the Twin Pack Deluxe Edition, there's a $20 difference there, right? It's $20 more for that Deluxe Edition Twin Pack. But if you go look at like Rebirth versus the Rebirth Deluxe Edition, it's only a $14 difference, right? So they're like gouging you for $6 for nothing. So right here's a quick screen grab of all the different versions on Steam, and you can see the Rebirth is on sale. It's $49. We're just going to round up for the sake of conversation. The Deluxe Edition is $63. The Twin Pack is $70, and the Twin Pack Deluxe Edition is $90. The difference between base game Rebirth and the Deluxe Edition on Steam is $14, and the Twin Pack itself is $70. So I don't know why the Twin Pack Deluxe Edition isn't simply $84. Like, I don't know where the extra $6 is coming from because they don't specify anything special from getting the Deluxe Edition with Integrate, right? Like, maybe you get the digital art book and the digital soundtrack potentially, but I don't think you do because they specify specifically what Integrate comes with. This description is underneath both the regular Twin Pack and the Deluxe Twin Pack. It says, Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate contains the following content. These will become available for download and play immediately after pre-purchase. Final Fantasy VII Remake, FF7 Episode Intermission. It's just kind of weird because for whatever reason, the Deluxe Edition Twin Pack is the only one that doesn't have a 30% reduction in price, because if it was, it would be $84. That'd be exactly what it would cost. It'd be $83.99, right? If they gave it a 30% reduction, like every other option there. For some reason, they want to upcharge you for the Deluxe Edition Twin Pack, despite giving you nothing extra with Integrate. Fuck that. Here's another unique item you can get from buying either Twin Pack on PC, whether you get the Deluxe Edition or just the regular Twin Pack. You get the Posh Chocobo, which was, I think, it was like almost an exclusive summon to like Japan, if I'm not mistaken. But there was a way to get it here through like DoorDash randomly, but it wasn't very advertised. I'm pretty sure there's nothing special about it outside of it being a cute little pink Chocobo. I think it just does like attacking moves or whatever, so there's no utility to it. And without having some utility like Magic Pot, you would just use like pretty much any other summon from Rebirth because they're all going to be stronger because you can power them up and make them stronger, right? Kind of for the same reason you don't use any of the summons from Remake, right? Even though you can get some of them in the game, you have some by default. You can get, if you have like save files for, Remake and Episode Intermission, you can get like Rama and Leviathan and shit. But you wouldn't use those in the game. Like, because you're going to slot the summons from Rebirth because they give you a higher stat boost and they're just going to be stronger in the fight. But my dudes, I think that is everything, at least that I'm aware of right now, to talk about when it comes to the PC release of Rebirth. We're obviously going to cover if and when they announce the Steam Deck version or whatever. That should be kind of everything you need to know. I imagine a lot of people out there probably already pre-ordered the game, waiting on the PC version. I'll be honest, I didn't know until making the video that the PC specs were already kind of out there, but they tweeted them out yesterday and is obviously being talked about the last day or so. But that's part of why I wanted to do this other shit in the video, because if we just stopped it like, here's the PC specs, later, bye-bye. Like, be kind of a really short fucking video. So I wanted to, like, put more into this video. Especially January 23rd is coming up pretty quick, a little over 2 weeks at this point, and you can finally play Rebirth on PC. Pretty exciting. That's the video. Subscribe if you guys are new. Search works in the description below. Follow me to dash-davidYT. That's it.
Used to care what people thought, but now I care more, and nobody out here's got it figured out. So therefore I've lost all hope of a happy ending, depending on whether or not it's worth it. So insecure, no one's perfect. We spend it with no shame, we blow that like Coltrane. We in here like Rogaine, or leave it like Cobain.